G'day cocktail lovers, it's time to add one more of my favorite cocktail recipes to the book. This time it's one of my favorites from 2025 called The Merry Widow. It's a classic cocktail dating back more than 100 years. You could liken it to a 50-50 martini that's a bit sweeter and has herbal elements. It's equal parts of gin and dry vermouth. There's also Benedictine in there and a dash of absinthe. While the classic recipe was in my top 10 for 2025, ever since then I've been thinking about doing a variation that beefs up the alcohol content in here. That's right, we're going nuclear with this widow. It's a relatively simple change. Inspired by a Nuclear Daiquiri, I'm going with a higher proof base spirit and I'm upping the amount of absinthe that's in there. Some people say less is more. Well, here's an experiment where I'll find out if more is more. For high proof gin, I'm going with Archie Rose's Distiller's Strength Gin, which clocks in at 52.5% ABV or around 105 proof. For the dry vermouth, I'm going with another Australian maker, Regal Rogue's Daring Dry. Then we have the Benedictine to sweeten things and add some nice herbal notes. And for the absinthe element, I'm using my extra strong blue absinthe. By extra strong, I mean 80% ABV or 160 proof. And it's rounding things out with some Peychaud's bitters. Before making the cocktail, I'm going to diverge with one of my occasional rants. When I say blue absinthe, a lot of people might go, that's odd. That's not what absinthe usually looks like. And you'd be right. The maker, who's Spanish, despite the rather French-sounding name Jacques Sonneau, has a little gimmick where they colour code their different absinthes according to the alcohol content. If it's green, that means it's 70% ABV, red means 75% ABV, blue means 80% ABV, and they even have an 85% alcohol by volume or 170 proof that is black. Now at this point, normal people would go, that's interesting, a bit different, but if that's their thing, and that's well and good. But then there are the other ones, the self-appointed experts, the gatekeepers, the absolute dicks who go out of their way to try and make being on the internet a miserable experience. They feel compelled to assert the colouring means it isn't real absinthe because they're the absinthe police, apparently. And you know, yeah, that's your opinion. Fine, have your opinion, then jog on, son. Because I don't care. In my experience, it isn't enough for these boring gits to have their say. They insist that you must agree with them, and they simply will not let it drop sometimes. I assume their lives are miserable and pointless because evidence. I have actually had to deal with some real pains in the past, specifically because of my blue absinthe. So I'm more or less preempting them here. It's like, you know what? You've got an opinion. I don't care, but I do have a message for you. Fuck off. Just fuck right off. And I want to be very clear about this because this type of person is usually not very bright. When you fuck off, it is not going to be a short journey. You may think you have fucked off in the past because I'm sure you've been told to fuck off. But I want you to keep fucking off the furthest you've ever fucked off. And when you literally think it's not possible for me to fuck off any further, you're wrong. Keep going. Fuck right off. I don't know about any of you, but I find that sort of outburst quite cathartic. So enough of that silliness. Now I'm going to make the cocktail. Here's how we do it. In a mixing glass, add 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of high proof gin, then 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of dry vermouth, then 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils of Benedictine, then 1/4 of an ounce or around 7.5 mils of absinthe, and then rounding things out with 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and then I'm straining that into a chilled coupe. I was quite intrigued as to what colour this was going to come out. Before I added the Peychaud's bitters, that was a nice green, and the red of the Peychaud's I thought might get a bit diabolical. It's not bad though, it's still a relatively clear drink. But what does it taste like? Oh, that is really work. Like upping the absinthe in this It's not overpowering, like, well, you do have to like absinthe, that licorice, anise, and the really strong herbal elements. I really like this, and it's great just really cold. You really want to have this nicely chilled. I think this tastes fantastic. Obviously, I wanted to beef up the absinthe flavor, and I put a bit more Peychaud's bitters in to keep pace with the increased absinthe. I did have an experiment a while back with another cocktail that had a decent whack of absinthe in it, and I kept adding absinthe until I was like, okay, now it's too much absinthe. I was going to do it with this, but I think this 1/4 ounce, 7.5 mils, was the perfect amount. The way it tastes, I'm almost sure if I added any, I would straight away go, that's too much absinthe. This has come out really well. This is a sort of one and done drink. Any responsible bar wouldn't serve you two of these. Even at home, I'm going to take it easy, and I'm just going to be sitting in the chair, not operating any heavy machinery or sharp implements, let alone driving a car. This is sit down and be quiet, son. You've had your fun for the evening. Now you get to relax. I do recommend, if you like absinthe and if you like to have the occasional really strong boozy drink, this could work really well for you. I really like it. I'm christening it the Nuclear Widow because I get to christen it because I changed the recipe. That's the rules. And this one did quite well. If you do try it, I hope you enjoy it. I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying having you along for the ride. I hope you're back soon when I'm back with some more cocktails. Until I see you again, I'll say cheers.